Hey, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. Today's antique vintage junk journal is a fairy journal. I found this book in a little used bookstore far, far away from my home. And I liked it because it has this beautiful original cover here with the fairy queen here and then all of the fairies circling her, and I believe that's Tom Thumb there, but just the prettiest image. So what I did is I covered up the title and I added this antique lace, antique crochet, and antique trim down here, and I added some of my vintage beads to the side and ribbons, and I covered the back with antique paper underneath and crochet, because this was actually an upside down book on the back. And I just left that wonderful crochet there. If somebody wanted, they could add ties to here and here, but I didn't do that. But I would if somebody asked me to upon purchase. And let me show you the inside. Everything in here is authentic antique and vintage ephemera. So every single piece is real ephemera. There's no commercial products, digital, store-bought, etc. Oh dear, Lacey's come to help me with the video again. Right here, and this is going to be in my Etsy shop momentarily, hyperstamper.etsy.com. I put this on the front cover just because it was inside cover. It was blank and kind of boring. So this is from the 1920s. Look at this beautiful little fairy image here. The little fairy girl and the fairy boy. And butterfly. I love it. And here is another fairy image here from 1927. Up one pair of stairs from the My Book House series. And look at this beautiful fairy here. Isn't she lovely? Excuse me, Lacey. So yeah, she's going to play with the ribbons. And I just thought that was great. I've got a 1930s children's book page here that I made into a pocket. Look at this lovely little page from the early 1900s. Stories told by pictures. And it's the little elves, fairies here that are cutting down the mushrooms. Isn't that sweet? I love it. Over here is another page. This is from a 1930s storybook. Look at this gorgeous fairy here. Over the little baby there, and over the little princess baby. I love that so much. And then over here's another one. This is from, I believe this is Gateways to Bookland. And here I have, it's called Fairy Aeroplanes, and it's the prettiest little poem. And I've got the little fairy there riding the butterfly. Isn't that beautiful? Put some antique paper on the back so you could journal on there. It's kind of a double pocket here. And then this one's just a sweet little vintage book here, and it's got the little elf on it, because I know people who love fairies almost always also love elves. Let me show you some more vintage paper here. This is a postcard from the 1920s from Paris, France. And this is just a beautiful plate from 1905 from one of my English countryside books. Isn't that gorgeous? And you can journal on the back of that as well. And wonderful little cluster down here, just gobs of antique ephemera. And then I've got some blank paper up there, some secret journaling spots. And then this one here, I've got this 1880s page from the first book of reading lessons. And on the back is antique paper for journaling. Little peekaboo journaling spot there. And this is a hand-typed research page from about 1888. Kind of cool, right? And here is a beautiful vintage cover of a music collection. Bits of feist hits. Okay, yeah, sure. And then this one is from 1895, and it's the Youth's Companion, and I just thought it was really cool that it was so old, and you could have lots of fun with that. That's a Boston piece there. Let's see, Lacey, don't eat the ribbon. Don't eat the ribbon. Sorry, I'll replace any ribbon she eats, I promise. Here is a very, no. Here's a very pretty hanky. It's very old, but it was never purchased, so it's brand new and very old at the same time. Isn't that lovely? So it's a full hanky there for you to enjoy. I thought that was nice for a little fairy journal. Got some pretty embroidery here from an embroidery book from the 50s. Lacey, no. I'm so sorry, I'm yelling at my cat on my video. Flowers, antique music sheets, another old book page from a children's book. This is a recipe card. I'm gonna have to hide this ribbon. That was never used, so you get to use that. And then I've got a little glassine envelope here, and inside I made this little booklet out of old vintage playing cards, and then I just made a little journaling spot there. Isn't that fun? Okay, hold on. Oh my goodness, Lacey, no. Okay. So sorry. I'm very sorry. Oh, she's messing up all my pretty background. Okay, here we go. Stick with me. It's going to be okay. 1920s banknote and a pressed flower. Fairies have to have pressed flowers, of course. And then this one here is just a blank antique book page that I love because it has the public library markings on it. Mary Ware in Texas. And put that in there. And just some beautiful forest animals from this children's book from the 30s. Another fantastic cluster full of texture, all authentic. This is a plate from the early 1900s. I just love that it's the stork and the baby here. Another wonderful children's book page. This is from a recipe book, fruit and vegetable cookery. This is from the 1930s. It is a student's handwritten notes there from a project that is from Black Beauty from the 50s. This is from the I believe 37 on our literature. Some really cool images here. This is very early bird study from the Nature of Studies book. Look at the little chickadee there, one of my favorite birds. A botanical page here from a vintage book, and then more children's book pages. That's from the 1800s there. Hand stamping, vintage school paper. More. This is really cool. This is just a funny one. This is made in USA, but it's a little Dutch fella going off to North America, and that is early 1900s. And then another fairy themed piece here from a 1960s My Book House series, and I put a vintage recipe piece on the back to journal on. But isn't the fairy images here just lovely? So pretty. Oh, Lacey. Excuse me, and thank you. There we go. And another recipe book page here that I turned into a little set of journaling pages. Just fun. 1953 receipt here. This is just a little antique book page that I turned into a journaling page. Little pocket there into a 1934 Paris Almanac page. A plate from 1930s bookkeeping book, antique paper here on top of the children's book page about giraffes. And here's another sweet little fairy page here. Look at the elf giving the fairy a bob haircut. Isn't that sweet? And some child took a crayon to this page, but I left it because I love that. I love that some child thought that was fun to color. And then I had to put in another mushroom page here from a botanicals book from the early 1900s. Lacey, please. And then this is great. Look at this little image here of a fairy. Can you see that? And then when you open it up, we've got all kinds more fairy images here, and then all kinds of spaces to journal on. So it's like a little booklet all of its own. I really like that from 1927. 1951 yearbook page, which is fabulous. Just, you know, look at that. Look at that graduating class. Oh, I love it. And I believe that one is from Rochester. Let me put that back in here. Little children dancing here. A vintage recipe book page, Lacey. And botanicals page here from the early 1900s. And children's book cluster there. This is a wonderful fairy pocket here. See that one there? That's from the early 1900s as well. And then this page here is from the 1850s. And that would have had, 4 or 5 different stamps, each one a different color, laid one on top of the other to give it that beautiful color, which I love. This is just a really pretty poem about daisies, and I put some antique paper on the back for journaling. There we go. Hippos from a children's book. And then here are some dryads, another kind of elf here. And I just thought it was a fun little page from a 1950s book trails book, and I put some antique paper on the back. Now I glued it on so that somebody could stuff more things in here. So I'll leave that to the new owner to fill, and I put a little poem down here that I think is very sweet. So I hope you love it as much as I loved making it, and I apologize for Lacey, but visit me soon. Hyperstamper.etsy.com. Bye for now.